We've got tips and recipes for healthy living. So for fun and inspiration, come and join us in the raw food world.
Welcome everybody, this is Matt Monarch with the Raw Food World TV show, and today is Thursday, May 21st, and we are in Kansas City. I'm absolutely loving traveling and showing you guys all the people that are leaders in these areas. And if anybody's ever been to Kansas City and is into raw foods, they know who Maureen is. Hi Maureen.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good.
You've been creating events and helping speakers out here for a long time in Kansas City.
About 3 years.
3 years doing that? Wow, thank you for doing that. And you've been on a raw path for how long? You've been doing this?
Probably 6 years.
6 years?
Around, yeah.
Wow. And it's true that you lost a lot of weight, if I'm not mistaken.
I did. Yep.
How many pounds did you lose, if you don't mind sharing?
I don't. I got at one point to over 200 pounds. That's when I stopped weighing myself. So I really don't know how heavy I got, but probably not much more.
Right.
That really freaked me out.
I bet.
So, and then I got back to my normal weight, which at that time was 115, and that took maybe 6 months when I got serious.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I was heavily medicated when all that happened. So I was on a lot of prescription drugs for fibromyalgia.
Wow, and you just got rid of them by the raw food diet.
I did. I did.
Nice.
I literally replaced my medication with food.
That is awesome. Yeah. Was it easy to wean off? Did you have to do lower dosages, or did it just automatically you just stop cold turkey?
No, it was scary because I was on around 15 prescription medications, and I literally had to check into a rehab.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Can you maybe tell us more about the process? I think this is really interesting for people to know that they can do this, and this can help a lot of people.
Well, sure. Prior to my going on medication, I was healthy. I was always a fit, healthy person. I always, weighed. I had 4 children. I always weighed about 115 pounds. That was my normal weight, and I ate a plant-based diet. I didn't know about the raw food diet, but intuitively, I knew that a salad was healthier than a hamburger.
Sure.
Or processed food. So, and I worked out all the time. So that was just my normal life. And then I pretty much got caught up into a really stressful cycle because I had a corporate advertising director's job, and I had 4 children. I was a single mom. 3 of my children were teenagers at the time. So if anybody is going through that, it was kind of scary. So stress happened. And I knew that I lived on stress, and I worked 12-hour days, and I had my family, so it was kind of crazy. So I went to my doctor when I started having pain symptoms and couldn't sleep and things like that. I was put on medication, and over time, just to make a long story short, one medication led to another because I would have side effects from one medication, and then that led to a new diagnosis. Like
Right.
chronic fatigue and anxiety and depression and, you name it. And I had it, and I was given a medication, and then I'd have 3 more side effects. So then I'd have another medication. So this went on for 2 or 3 years, and meanwhile, I was getting heavier and sicker, but more importantly, I was sleeping through the whole process because the medications were putting me
Unbelievable.
to sleep. So that led to me acquiescing and opening myself up to more medication, surgeries, things that I would never have done. And I was doing it. So that's kind of scary.
Can you believe this? I have family members. I know other people that are going through the exact same thing. And Maureen did it and got out of it. So when you went to rehab, did you just quit them cold turkey and they were just coming out of you you were a heroin addict, just
The reason I went to rehab is because I went to my doctors and I said, this is it, I can't do this anymore. But you got to understand, by then I was bedridden. I lost my job. I was in my bed. I walked with a walker. I had a catheter to pee because the medications were shutting my organs. So I considered myself a legal junkie. Looking back, to me there's no difference between a person being addicted to these hardcore, prescription legal drugs, and a person out there getting the drugs on the street. I mean, it's just a different drug pusher.
So how did you wean off, and how did you get it? Yeah.
So eventually I didn't want to live anymore. So, I mean, who would want to, right? I mean, I had this vibrant life before, and now I'm bedridden. I can't even pee without help. I don't want to live anymore. So I took an overdose on top of, I was already overdosing, like every day, right? According to, the correct directions. So I wanted out. And so I took a really heavy-duty overdose. And if anybody knows what fentanyl is, I took fentanyl, 4 Durgesic patches on top of everything else, and I was serious. What happened was I woke up in the ICU, and at that point something happened. Even though I was as drugged as I was, I somehow just connected with my authentic self, and I knew that this was insanity, and I knew that I wasn't going to do this anymore, and I knew that who I really was not this person. And I made up my mind. It was a shift of consciousness, really, and I just decided, if I'm going to live, I'm finding myself again. I'm going to come back. And the first thing I did was fire my doctors, because they literally would not help me to titrate off of all the medications. So I had to go out on my own without insurance. I had insurance, but my insurance wouldn't cover it. So we had to pay out of pocket for a private hospital called Professionals in Crisis, and I went in there for 30 days, and the doctor there understood. He got it. He was with me. He was on my side, and he just knew that all I wanted was to titrate off these toxic chemicals. He got me through that, and it was like a scary movie, just like you see in a movie.
Like the heroin addicts just going crazy when they're eliminated. And this process took exactly 30 days?
It took 30 days to do the very scary part, where I got all the toxins out, and I was, taken care of by a medical professional, because it was frightening. It could have been really bad.
Right.
So after he told me when I was ready to leave, he said, "You're going to feel like crap for 6 months." And I did. I felt like I had the flu.
Were you off
for
the
6
drugs
months.
completely at that
Off
time?
the drugs.
Wow.
Off all of them by the time I left.
So you did it.
I did it. Yeah, I was ready. That shift was so real. I can't even, describe it, but it was really, it was real. It was beautiful.
This is amazing, because I have friends that are on drugs, and they just don't think that it's possible to get off these things. This is like an extreme case, someone who was taking antibiotics, massive amounts of them, even overdosing on them, and they came out the other end with the light. So pass this movie on to your friends and their friends who, it happens. This is a real life instance. So that is awesome. Thank you so much.
Antibiotics and Demerol and morphine, antidepressants, anti-anxiety, sleeping pills, you name it.
Whoa.
The normal stuff that they dish out today.
Crazy.
Cocktail.
Crazy. And also, Maureen is throwing a festival in Kansas City on, we're not sure the date yet, but it's going to be either...
July 25th.
Okay, it's going to be July 25th. Maureen's throwing a festival on July 25th. Angela and I are going to be there. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be right here at your place, and it's
on my property. It'll be the second one. We did this last year, and it was really a lot of fun.
Nice.
Just conscious lifestyle, music, food.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have raw food vendors and chefs.
Very
And
cool.
the stage is over there. Can you see that?
Yeah. And then Bunny Berry will be here. Penny from Tulsa is going to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't want to miss out on that one. Go book your plane tickets to Kansas City. Maybe we can even get them carpool rides.
Go
Go to the website. What's your website?
Well, my personal website with my story and before and after pictures is rawliberation.com, and the local community is a meetup group. So it's the Meetup Raw KC group.
Cool.
Raw Kansas City, Raw KC.
Cool.
So check that out.
Thank you so much for this, Maureen. This is going to help a lot of people.
Well, thank you. My pleasure.
Cool. So we've got...
Maureen Vito Slater.
And Matt Monarch, and we'll see you tomorrow at the Raw Food World TV show.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again at the Raw Food World.